Hi, everybody. This is Joanna. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special day. Today is the 11th of February, and it's a very beautiful Master Day. This month, my teams have been showing me. Today, we're going to do a healing and an activation for those that want to stick around for that. We're going to do already clearing, just saying that. Too funny. I just did a class, a global class, and I wanted to create a special ceremony and initiation into new energies, into the new 5D templates for all of us and all of those that watch our offerings. Understand that we are the ones that bring new energies forward. We are the ones that bring those new templates forward through our infusion of creating new excitements, perceiving our reality as exciting, perceiving our reality as we're creating it as we go, perceiving our reality as a beautiful boutique of source creator, of light, of love, of all of the masteries and the majesties of the heavens that we get to infuse our own unique creative expressions in. And in doing so, we become this beautiful palette and this beautiful design of this new 5D earth. But it takes that each and every one of us own who we are. That's that glow of that self-responsibility that the Master Christ always shows me is so important, to renewing yourself with you and source, to renewing the love of you like a marriage, like a devotion of who you are as spirit. That in that devotion, in that intention, you allow yourself to explore the many sacred geometries that is life, that is the breath of life, that is sacred in all ways. Honoring yourself as sacred, that your highest truth is sacred, that only your guidance of who you are, your destiny, your soul's path, your soul's plan, your gifts, your wisdoms, your intelligences, all that you are as a soul, living as a soul, renewing it from within. You always have that steady understanding and that steady self-knowing and self-confidence and self-clarity that you are the master, you are the dominionship of all that you are as light and love. The glow of your self-responsibility is your own initiation within who you are, your own ceremony of who you are as sacred, your own co-creativeness of who you are. You are the one that allows yourself to heal in all ways, to align yourself with new grids, with new templates, with new potentialities in all ways. And you're the one that gets to choose to do that. It's always free will. And they were showing me yesterday that the omnipresent of the all, there's an infinite number of potentialities. And we talked about before that our collective is going through a bottleneck. And in that, there's an infinite number of earths that each soul gets to choose which earth they go and co-create within and experience within and explore within. And as this beautiful time right now is an initiation phase for something new, for something new, for something new, so that we break that bottleneck. Those creative inspirations, those creative activations allow us to choose with great discernment, with great ownership of who we are as a soul, what our excitements truly are, so that we get to choose in that highest consciousness state of mind and of presence and of being, that earth that we want to co-create within. And why that we can let go of the fear of loss, if you will, of loved ones and family members, because their soul is honoring their soul's contract to experience the earth that they wanted to come to experience. Even though the separation, the illusion of separation, or the physical letting go of them is only an illusion, because they might be experiencing another earth in another way, but you will still have access to the spirit and their essence in those higher vibrational experiences. And why it's important to honor their path and to send them the highest potentiation of what their soul wanted to experience in that expression of that experience, whether it be a death or an illness, instead of having those cords that are energized through worry and through doubt and through fear, right? Because every time you create fear about someone, you're creating that energetic cord. And so most often than not, though other people don't understand their fields and their bodies well enough, and they're not working with that daily self-clearing and healing to understand that where those energies and those fears are coming from. Rather, instead, understand that their soul chose that illness to experience something their soul needed, and to offer them the highest benevolence of whatever that expression was for their own soul's growth. When you offer them the highest benevolence, they will choose their highest path to move in and out of that experience, if they so choose. It's always free will. So that's as a master understanding of how to use energy in the highest benevolent way, to honoring of all souls' paths, all souls' journeys in whatever that they so choose. Opening up to allowance of the diversity of all that we are and all that we come with, a sacred geometry of color and diversity. Each coming with diverse gifts, each coming with diverse uniqueness, each coming with our own unique celebration and relationship to get to know Source Creator, to be the Source Creator, to be spirit in all things in all ways. It's a sacred, unique journey. And there's not anyone on the planet that can show or tell anyone one path on how to get there. We did a lot of activations this morning in our class, so my bodies are still clearing. Um, and so it's a unique journey, and that journey is the inner seeking of one to know thyself and devote thyself with loving spirit for the expansiveness of all that we are, source creator. That is ascension. Every moment being excited to explore yourself as this new pressing out energy of the all. And to do so, we're needing to release all the limitations that hold us back in fear and limitation, because they're all just illusions. They're the codes that we're here to transcend. So everything is a code. You can choose in any new day to inspire a new initiation code. Today, I'm going to inspire something new. Now, in part of my own unique experiences, especially when you're going through new periods of growth and expansiveness, your soul and your higher self and all that you are as a multidimensional allness, the epicenter of you, will call forward memories, cell memories, DNA, kosh, lineage, anything in your field that is requiring you to reflect upon, so that you can do a life review and honor and call out those lessons through acknowledgement, call out those lessons through acceptance of what has occurred, and call out those lessons of allowance of your higher self to be known, so that in this now moment you choose for something new. So again, not hanging on to the past, not hanging on to past stories, not hanging on to past energies, because that creates that bottleneck. Rather than to honor it and appreciate everything that has occurred, no matter how challenging, traumatic, difficult they may have been, to honor it and forgive it and make peace with it, so that you're calling out those wisdoms of your now soul growth. Because those lessons are part of you now, where you renew who you are in that lesson. For an example, part of my soul's path, I'm 51, and part of my soul's journey was a myriad of energy experiences, physical experiences, multidimensional experiences. Because remember, I'm able to see and feel things on an infinite number of timelines that my soul allows me to tap into, so I can heal it through the understanding of who I am as a soul, understanding love and compassion and empathy and all of those things that come with the healing of soul fragments. So that I can also explain it to others, is why they feel those monthly intensities, because as you continue to awaken to your allness, you'll continue to feel those threads that give you peaks and sparks of visions into those timelines that felt really traumatic. But to remember that we're only given those so that we garner that information, we garner that wisdom, and we anchor it in the now to assist in that releasing, for no other reason. We're not given visionary timelines to go and seek into and weed into, because those get us lost in those vibrations. And that's a really delicate line that we all have to understand and learn as we open to our gifts to understanding vibrational fields and vibrational timelines, is to keep that in the highest reverence and humility. And why, again, we always go back and say daily self-clearing, understanding yourself as a soul, and aligning with benevolence, so that you're not in you're not in the imbalance of co-creating timelines that are just stuck in old vibrational information and wisdoms. You're only given those snapshots so that you can understand the lesson for now and anchor it, and then close off the timeline. And so for those of you that have that potentiality to do that. I do have it, and it's been a trial and error experience for me to really hone those subtle vibrational energies, so that I choose at the highest honoring of me to not tap into timelines and not tap into energies that I don't need to, because it can become vibrationally very confusing. It can become vibrationally overwhelming and suffocating. Because right now, especially if you're going through a big release right now, it's hard to, and it's a great challenge to process all of that information. But your teams and your soul, if you're doing your daily self-clearing and you're aligning with all that you are as an epicenter of light, you're always aligning with your teams and your higher self and the masters, your teams will always work with you, so that you're only given what you need, so that you're only tapping into what you're requiring. So work within that, again, self-responsibility. Everybody must move through self-responsibility, so that you understand how to understand those subtle threads of vibrations, so that A, you're not overwhelmed and fearful, B, that you honor it, and you honor it in the honoring of your work, through benevolence, through love, and through the alignment of the Christ. And you're always doing it in reverence to everyone's journey and what their soul is here to learn, and when to step back and allow things to unfold, and honoring each person's path for the soul lessons that they've come to explore and experience and honor in themselves. Because it doesn't help anyone for anyone to do anything for anyone. every person has their own unique free will choice, just as source creator and all of the many heavens and all of our teams and guides have given us. Nobody forces us to sit there, and they don't sit there as teachers with, flip charts telling us step by step what to do. It's up to us to go within and seek the marriage of spirit, to seek the oneness of spirit, to seek the interactivity and the engagement and the entanglement of spirit. Therefore, unlocking the gifts, the quantum physics, the alignment of spirit as matter. And honoring it in the highest heavenly experiences through the archangels, through the councils of light, through the Christ consciousness, so that we are always aligned with the grids, we're always aligned with current life programs, we're always aligned with our soul's destiny and the collective, because we're always sown with the collective. We're never not sown with the collective. Everything that every individual does affects the collective. And why it's so important that daily self-clearing, that daily self-healing, honoring your own ascension cycle and journaling it out, so you absolutely know what soul lessons you're working on and what soul themes you're calling in, because you'll be able to understand it, as I've written in my books. Those daily self-triggers and our entanglement and our connections with each other are those triggers and are those stepping stones that help us learn those grander soul lessons, and at a collective level. Because in my specific experiences that we were talking about in our classes and our offerings this week, I'm just going to have some coffee. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning doing classes, so I need a little wake up. What was I talking about? That coffee was so good. So that we understand that we are the ones that are co-creating these new experiences of excitement and joy. My specific soul experience was to through my 51 years and clearing the karma that I've cleared so far, is to understand the many journeys and traumas and challenges that are directly linked to my soul, oversoul, and oversoul lineage, Akash, and ancestry, subjugation and limitation and fear traumas, psyche wounds, and imprints that we're all here to transcend. Through my specific soul journey, so that I can be part of the collective's healing and understanding the multidimensional allness, and then offer it and teach it to those that so desire, is the multidimensional perspective of our allness and how we can heal ourselves and come forward from trauma, come forward from abuse, come forward from manipulation, come forward from energetic and psychic energy manipulations and wounding, if you will, that again are threaded on multidimensional timelines. And so, and to honor it as the whole of all that we are and make peace with it. So today is going to be that part of that healing. But I'm explaining my specific experience so that you can understand the part that we're going to go into a healing, which will be in those challenging and life traumas, if you will, whether it's this timeline or another, and you get triggered throughout your day, whether it's the lack of self-value, your self-worth within a relationship, within a community, within your workplace, whatever it might be. There is always that subtle underlying experience of worthiness, your worthiness to live as source and as a sacred being of light, physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically, and the subjugation that we've all created and co-created, and we're now healing and stepping out of, so that we allow ourselves to be released from that bottleneck. And it takes each and every one of us to heal those wounds. And so part of it was that many of these experiences that I'd experienced, very few of those experiences in my life was there ever justification or forgiveness on anyone's part for the harm that was projected at me, and from my childhood, from other timelines. And as a soul theme and as a soul lesson, I had come with that to heal. That's part of mastery, is that part of your own self-forgiveness and self-closure, so that you don't require it from anyone else, because it actually comes from within, that you don't need that communication, that entanglement for people to state their accountability in it. You don't need that forgiveness or their apology, or you don't need their atonement. That atonement comes from within. And you can do that by healing every experience that you have not had atonement from others that have hurt you and harmed you. And oftentimes, so many that move through relationship experiences, because that's how we all heal, that's how we become masters, is through challenging relationships. Nobody gets out of it. We're here as a soul group and a soul collective to learn through forgiveness, through compassion, through love, through empathy, and all of these experiences that grow the soul, that allow that soul to expand and navigate these deep and rich gray areas You know, life is never, you know, fanciful, and, you know, you have those moments of fancifulness. That's a part of the ride. But our mastery comes from those challenging experiences where that deep anger and that deep resentment and that deep, you know, energies like cynicism, and where that heart gets closed off because you get hurt so many times and it's like enough is enough and you just end up closing off. So it's important that that daily self-care, that daily nurturance, and honoring and loving yourself and healing you, that allows you to transcend and move into any pocket that you desire of energy, because it's your self-responsibility to give yourself your own glow, your own light of who you are as source. And in doing so, simultaneously and at the same time, offering all that light to all timelines and realms and dimensions that you belong on, all aspects of you that are also going through many challenges and many experiences. Because remember, our soul at simultaneous moments are on an infinite number of earths for the collective sacred geometry fractal that it requires to feed back to you what you require. So there's infinite number aspects of you on various dimensional threads. We say lower and higher, but it's just the words we use. It's not qualitative or quantitative. It's just the words we use to explain what we're talking about as allness, oneness right now. All fractals of experience of you are feeding you what you need if you are awake and attuned to what your soul, all of you, is going through. So in your awakeness, you can say, wow, I can give myself healing right now for that really traumatic experience that spans 6 lifetimes, because often some of us know that we come with karmic partners and we're threading with 10 lifetimes with them. And 9 of them are really traumatic and challenging. You know, many of them, you know, great, great pain and trauma caused through karmic relationships and twin flame and all of those words. Doesn't matter how we define them, but they're the ones that stretch the soul. And because of where we're at right now, much of it has been through pain and trauma, because that's what we're healing as a collective: subjugation. Those that have control over us think they have control over us, and those are the games that we played, and us vice versa. We've had control in those positions as well. It's all one. We've all had the roles. We've all played them. But in this now body, it's kind of hard to make sense of all that, because it's like, well, my heart just got ripped out 100 times and not anyone from any of my life has come forward and said sorry for the pain that they've caused. So that causes those toppling experiences like resentment and pain. And you just want to shut down and say, especially those of us that are empaths and crystal children, we can kind of sense the vibration of anyone that comes towards us and their motives and their intentions. And it's just like, after a while, I'm explaining it to you on a multidimensional experience so that you understand why you're attracting it, so that you can attract something different by your new inspirations. Because of your energy just gets shut down, and you just end up harmonizing with those lower vibrational energies. We say lower, it's not qualitative or quantitative, it's just the words that we have. But they are a lower vibration, because that's resentment. You just end up shutting down, because that's just, you're just getting so used to having the same attitudes and energies that are connecting with one another. But what you have to do is you have to shift your perspective of it, be the master that you are, send forward compassion and empathy and light, so that you're not continuing the loop of entanglement. And that's why I had to explain it the way that I did, because it's very easy to slip into those behaviors. And that then, at a subtle level, co-creates another karmic cycle with those same karmic energies, same karmic people, just in different masks, different faces, different bodies. So it's really important to know and do your daily self-clearing, so that you know what energies you're walking around with. If you've just gone through a huge clearing and you're closing off a cycle of your experience of your life, and you're just saying, I'm releasing these relationships because they're no longer serving me. It's continually make work. It's continually, one-sided, whatever it is that you're moving through. At a soul level, you get to say, okay, I'm releasing this now. And this is why, because I felt resentment. I felt anger. I felt the pain. You have to acknowledge it. In the acknowledging of it, you send it over to surrendering to source and creator and the Christ consciousness that you are. It's all you. I'm surrendering this resentment to Christ consciousness. I'm surrendering anger and pain to Christ consciousness, so that I can walk forward and choose now to step off that karmic code, because it's a code, it's a program, and I'm going to choose to create through compassion and empathy and love and forgiveness. And so we're going to do a healing today that will allow you to feel into giving yourself love and compassion and empathy for yourself. Because the reason why we feel those energies of resentment and we continue those karmic cycles just with different people is because we haven't allowed ourselves to gift ourselves that renewal of compassion and empathy that we did not receive from others. that we did not receive that accountability, that we did not receive that empathy, that we did not receive the compassion for all the pains and the hurts that were caused. And it's not a victim. Really taking ourselves into mastery is taking the victim out of it and giving yourself compassion, because they're co-creative experiences through which your soul had to learn those lessons to stand in your own power and speak your truth, and to know when enough is enough. Especially for those of us that are crystals and empaths, and we come with many gifts as old souls, because we are going to be then going into greater public collectives where we really, really have to learn the attunement of those subtle energy threads that connect and attach with us, that we have to maintain and ensure that our boundaries are set, so that we're not completely depleted within 5 minutes because there's 50 people that are draining from your energy. So it's really important that at these subtle levels, for those of you that are teachers and healers and are leaders, as you awaken to the all multidimensional bodies that you are, it's important that you do align with who you are as source, that you probably will have had many of those experiences, so that you honor forgiveness and compassion, and you operate from empathy rather than victimhood, because we've all been through them, every single one of us. And you learn how to set your boundaries and what is right for you as the rules of engagement and spiritual engagement. And so that you set those vibrational patterns of love and light, and that you only anticipate expecting the highest vibrations that are on that vibrational matching level, so that you call in those that honor your heart. You call in those that honor your soul. You call in those that are a vibrational match, so that if there is those connections and communications and something was said that hurt your feelings, that they do say sorry, because you're vibrationally matching with that, because you're honoring who you are. You're being compassionate for all past wounds. And from now on, you're going to be compassionate to call in those that are also compassionate. And so again, it's always that infinity, right? So if we get called into those vibrational patterns of karma that is, one-sided, and all of those energies that we're here to heal, manipulation, all of those energies from karmic cycles, we all know what they are, because everyone's moving through different arrays of subjugation. Each and every one of us without fail, each and every one of us is here to heal subjugation in whatever way that it is presented to us in our socio-economic system, so that we heal it at the soul level, personality level, within our collective and our communities, so that we choose from this heart space to be socio-altruistic, through which it's a reciprocation of new now, where we're creating for the greater good at all, because we understand how much pain it is. And there's those in the consciousness collective that haven't had that soul experience growth yet, and it might not be their soul's lesson or their soul's themes to co-create from a compassionate and empathic perspective. They might not be there yet, and that's okay. There's no judgment on any of it or demeaning qualities on any of it, but it takes mastery for you to work through that, because there's a lot of pain in there. It takes a lot of pain. I'm working with my teams, daily to heal the pains and the wounds within, when responsibility and accountability hasn't been taken, since even early childhood and other timelines. Because I feel them and they interact with my now moment. So I've got to clear those wounds and heal those wounds and make right with me. I've got to call in that accountability from me, because it wasn't done on any other part. So I've got to make that compassion and that empathy with me, so that it doesn't shift into the stagnant energies of resentment. And I can maintain my vibration physically, mentally, emotionally, and etherically, to honor the heart that I am, and say, I give myself that apology. It wasn't right that occurred, and it made me feel really pained, and it hurt every part of me, mentally and physically and emotionally. It didn't treasure my heart as sacred. I'm sacred. So in our healing, we're going to honor that in our multidimensional experience, so that those of you that have gone through those really challenging experiences, and if you want to heal a childhood wound, because it's all right now, it's quantum. So if you have a childhood wound, or you're feeling that you're being triggered and people aren't apologizing and people aren't being accountable, that's okay. But what we have to do is take ourselves out of the ego, us and them and us, and victimhood. Take ourselves out of it and work as spirit, so that we're allowing compassion and empathy to be the thread of all experiences. And it takes mastery to do that, because thousands of years of being vibrationally egocentric, that's what we've played. Light and dark wars, light and everything. Me, you, us, them, pointing the finger, and all of those things that we do in those egocentric experiences. And it's natural and normal. But we can drop to our heart and live as souls, healing as the soul. And so what we wanted you to do is just sit with a straight back so that your pillar of light is honoring all that you are, and just ground yourself with Gaia, just through intention and breath. I open up my pillar of light and I call in the highest Christ consciousness. And today our intention is, as our soul tribe, for any of those that so desire to connect with us here and now after moments, that we are protected and we are guided by the highest beings of holy light through the Christ consciousness, and all of those that want to entangle in the highest light programs on earth to create a beautiful 5-dimensional earth. And through breath, we activate our cells. Through breath, we activate our organs. Through breath, we activate our multidimensional fields, and we call in all within creation as a part of our oneness. That there is no fear, there is no separation, there is no judgment on any part of creation, because we are all. We call in the highest beings of holy light for Lord Michael and all of our healing angels and our highest healing teams from the highest collectives, my soul, my higher self, all that I am. All that I am in love and all that I am in light, for I stand in my power, I stand in my elegance. Today, my intention is to call forward any energies, this realm or any other realms, that are sitting within my vibrational field. I call in the highest light of the Christ consciousness, and I'm now visualizing being bathed physically, mentally, emotionally with the highest versions of Christ consciousness light, to bathe my chakras, to bathe my fields, to bathe my bodies with love and light, compassion, to bathe all that I am with the compassionate love that I'm sacred, that I'm loved so dearly by the heavens, by creation, by earth, by all my collective, by my family. Even if they don't say it, even if they don't show it or express it, you can call in this love, because their higher selves and their souls are actually sending it to you right now. To know that you are loved, to know that everything in creation is a part of love. It's a part of oneness. It's only our limited perspective that holds us in separation. So perceive and create the activation now, the ceremony and the initiation for you now, to know that you are one in love. Love is oneness, and oneness is love. And in this, every cell and every facet of your experience is being a multidimensional experience of love and light, the vessel of light that is Source Creator, uniquely you, uniquely blessed as you, with your name, with your codes, with your soul's expression to go out and create something new. That you're calling in the highest light. I call in the highest light so that the codes and the love and the nourishment that I need, that my unique soul needs, that my unique experience needs, no matter what each and every one of you have experienced, you're calling in exactly what you need, because it's quantum, because it's miraculous, because it's source. You will. You'll be offered the exact light that you need. You'll be offered the exact embrace that you need, the embracing nourishment from the Holy Mother and all of the heavenly councils that just bathe you in the highest light. And feel your heart opening. I give my heart permission. I give all of my multidimensional allness. I give all that I am permission to make peace what has been done, to make peace with the experience between these beings. And then feel yourself creating that peace with that being that you had that distrust with, or that anger with, or that resentment with. Just call their higher self and their soul. I offer you peace in this experience. I offer you peace. I offer you peace. Through compassion and through empathy, I feed our connections in all timelines and all realms. I honor this with love and compassion and healing, for I do not know the pains that you've come with in your soul's experience that you've come with, but I offer you compassion, I offer you empathy, and I offer you peace. And breathe in light. And have the highest heavenly angels and the karmic board and all that is the violet flame keepers, Saint Germain, and all of the angels bathe any of those threads, any timelines, and all realms through the intention I said, light and love and the violet flame, to bathe and cleanse and transmute any and all dissension, any and all resentment, any and all anger that's gone with any experience that you've experienced with any one person. Remember, keeping the stories out of it, just keeping the vibrational threads of what had occurred, anger, lower vibrational pointing of the finger, and arguments going back and forth, anything that affects the vibrational timelines, just send it love. In this now moment, my conscious awareness, my conscious choosing, because now heals all timelines, all realms, all aspects of me. I get to close off this experience of that karmic cycle with love and gratitude and appreciation and empathy for every soul's experience on all perspectives. So that if there was something that you missed within that experience, know that it will be brought to you in that forgiveness and in that empathy and in that compassion offering. And honoring the Gaia, honoring her energy that she's supported those negative energies to allow us to sort things out. And we offer her love, and we offer her joy, and we offer her unconditional support for her supporting us. Remember, it's a story of allness with love and Source Creator. And call in light and call in light and call in light and call in light. And as you're offering those experiences and those frustrations and those angers and those resentments, love and peace, you're making peace with it. I make peace with whatever occurred. I call forward those lessons and I honor them within my heart as this now new moment for who I choose to be. I choose to call forward that wisdom that it showed me to use kinder language, that it showed me how to stand in my truth, that it showed me that I can choose forgiveness and closure in my own knowing of who I am, a source, that I get to choose. I get to choose healing. I get to choose closure. I get to choose forgiveness. I get to choose to close all timelines where that experiences were similar and that affect me now. I choose to release all karmic energies in regards to victimhood, in regards to resentment for not having closure, in regards to abuse or manipulation. I choose to release these karmic energies to be transmuted through the Holy Christ within me. I get to choose. And I surrender these energies for the highest transmutation of the highest Holy Christ energy to be transmuted so that I understand the lessons that I've come to learn through my communications, through my connections, and through my family circles and loved ones. That's how I become whole in who I am. So that I get to take and honor this beautiful self-responsibility from all creations, from all timelines, from all that I've ever been. I get to now honor all that I am. And I call in all those strengths and wisdoms, and I call them in at my heart, the higher vibrational of all of these. And as I offer everybody higher vibrational energies that for them and their free will to pull from, and you're closing off those karmic cycles of back and forth, and you're closing off those cycles of round and round, and you're closing off those cycles of karmic energies that never seem to end, and the bottleneck, and you're choosing to close it off, and you've pulled those lessons, and you get to now choose for your 5D. I get to choose to create with my inspirations. I get to choose to create knowing that I'm valued and I'm worthy of these higher vibrational energies, that I'm worthy to create connections that honor me and value me, so that I'm operating and I'm vibrating and I'm calling in those soul tribe and those soulmates that value who I am within and without at every level. And I get to create those new beginnings. I get to create those new opportunities that are coming for me, because I've chosen to transmute what was, stand in my power, and give closure to myself, give forgiveness to myself, give empathy and understanding that every soul has its own wounds and its own pains that it has to make peace with. And that's how we become glowing in our own self-responsibility, because we've taken that clarity, we've taken that confidence, and we've earned it. When you earn it, that's the glow. Because you've honored it as a transmutation. Everything is our own choice to what reality we want to create. We have to transmute those energies by releasing them and acknowledging them and say, yeah, those are karmic cycles that were probably 10 timelines deep, and I release it now. Whatever I cannot transmute, I offer to the heavens to assist me. I'm already clearing. And they're deep in the chakras. You know, especially if you've been with people, you know, your whole life, whether it's a family member. And those will take every morning, you know, if you want to clear those deep wounds, and it takes that self-love, that self-care, you know, and just I'll keep offering light and empathy, because their cords of them wanting to keep those cycles going will tap on your fields. And as the creator showed me that, the part of mastery, for those of you that are empaths and crystals, part of the mastery is to, when you're sensing those pulls, they're like little pulls, you know, like when little kids pull on your clothes, that's what it feels like in the vibrational field. Those people and those beings, even though they don't know they're doing it, but even if they have a thought of you, like your parents when they think of you, or they're thinking of healing something between you when you happened when you were a kid, even other people from other timelines, it will feel like this little pull on your clothes. That's how it feels like. And you can just send them light and carry on with what you're creating. Don't get stuck in those stories, because you're co-creating them at a subtle level if you do. Because oftentimes we've never been taught these multidimensional healing skills. Many just keep thinking about the old stories, and they just keep cycling around and around and around. And then because you're cycling around and around, you end up calling those energy cords in. And so just send light and co-create now, and say, I make peace with our past. I send you light. I'm carrying on something new. I close this cycle. And so just gently and softly say that, because they need your love. They need your light. The only way they know how to operate is in those old karmic cycles. So just honoring it as a gentle process to know that you're the one that is showing them how to close off unhealthy cycles of habituated cycles of control and manipulation and ego and all of those things that everyone has to learn. And they're not said in any way that is derogatory at all, because we need those aspects of ourself. It's all us. We need those aspects of ourselves to create those bottleneck bursting points where it wants to create something new. And you have to align and know your mastery to do that. I've got this. I don't have to fall into victimhood and go by any other person's explanation of who I am, or projections, or role definitions of who I am. I get to create who I am. And this is our greatest gift that we give all children. Know thyself within who you are with source, because your unique path is different than anybody else's. Your unique gifts are different than anybody else's. And you're here for your reasons, for you to seek it out with source, so that source can take you on this beautiful journey that you know you can heal yourself. You know you can bring peace to any situation. You know that you can create those beautiful activations and those beautiful ceremonies to break anything that seems to be heavy and dense and continuing and continuing. And you can choose to step off it. It's just our perspective of our own mastery and our own knowing. You are a master. You can do this. Make peace with what has made you feel as if you're unable or unstable. You are absolutely stable. Stand within your power, call in your light. Offer empathy and compassion, because you don't know what their soul is walking through, what their soul has walked through. And so offer it to them. Offer the love and unconditional experience for them. That in turn, that reverberation of energy gives you the closure that you need, and the forgiveness that you need, and the apology that you need, and the accountability that you need. If you have been made accountable of what occurred, regardless of whether anybody else agrees with it or not, then you're giving it to yourself, and that's all you need. Their soul has a different story of it. Their soul has a different perspective of it. Their soul has a different earth of it, and that's meant to be. Remember, they're experiencing a completely different earth than you are. It's meant to be that way. That's creation. That's how elegant this process is. That's why it's up to each and every one of us to align with our source essence of who we are. And at your level of light, you're offering them the greatest amount of light so that they can open in their potentiation and call in their highest guidance to heal what they need to heal. Not for you to do it for them, or to explain it to them, or to hold their hand and lead it to them. It's up to each person to do it. But to know that when those cycles continue and you feel those little tugs and pulls, or you constantly feeling their name and their energy in your field, then to just with intention close off those energetic cycles of karma and send light and send love, and then continue on with what you're doing, so that your connection of quantum energy goes somewhere new, from your center of choosing, from your center of self-love, from your center of self-knowing. And you give that closure to you. You give that self-honor to you. You give that compassion to you, and also to all others on every experience that you've had that has not been resolved. And then you choose. I choose to resolve this through just sitting in compassion, and just focus 5 minutes on compassion for yourself and for others. Right? I'm going to focus. I'm going to, with intention, I'm asking the teams and all healing guides and the higher selves and the souls involved, and I'm going to send compassion. I'm going to send love and forgiveness to anything and anyone that's caused you harm or pain, and send them love, and send them compassion, and send them empathy. Because your empathy allows you to make peace with it. It's hard to create peace with it if there's no empathy. Putting yourself in their experiences, in their shoes, not vibrationally, but just to understand that your soul has its own path and its own journey, and in our oneness, I can empathize with where you are at. You don't have to agree with it because it's caused harm to you, but you can say, I empathize with you, and I send you the Christed compassion. I send you unconditional love, so that our timelines can be healed. And you know that you've done everything you can on all timelines, all realms, not that you have to, but I'm just saying how it feels on a multidimensional level. When all of your bodies and all of your fields wake up, you'll feel it. And especially if you're going through experiences with, deep karmic relationships where you've had many lifetimes and many of them have not been positive, you can feel it, because they're the energies in the relationships that just never seem to be resolved. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you try, those relationships never seem to be resolved. Those are karmic, steeped karmic relationships that are steeped in density, and those are the ones that require constant practice and constant mastery, and not to behave. I'm saying behave so that we differentiate between responding and reacting. so that we behave in our highest consciousness and not react in the ways that karmas have patterned us and habituated us to, you know. And so to just sit back and be the higher self and respond with love and compassion, closing off the cycle of karma, closing off the cycle of those habituated patterns. Because a pattern can't continue if you're not engaging with it. That's that quantum energy. And so it needs to be known and it needs to be stated, if there are those relationships of heavy and dense energies, and they keep coming back to want to entangle and engage with you, that you make it very clear and you make it very, you know, and you set those standards that these are the rules of engagement now, you know, because I will no longer continue in the karmic energies of arguing and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The door is closed, no access. So that for your epicenter of light, for your soul's agreement, for your soul's destiny, you're continuing to align with who you are and what's right for you. Every person, every soul has the right to align with their highest and their best. What is healthy for them? What is nourishing for them? What is honoring in their heart? That way you know that you've pulled that soul lesson from those deep karmic experiences. And you've called those lessons and said, no, that was there to teach me that I got to stand in my truth. Stop taking from me. I say no. I get to say no. It's my right. You know, because they want to keep pulling on you. They want to keep those similar activities because that's all that they knew. Until you're showing them, no, you can choose to behave in a different way. Go within and seek that forgiveness for yourself so that you understand why you need to keep pulling on those blaming games and those shaming games. So that you're showing them, go within and resolve it. Make peace with you. I've made peace with you. I've made peace with you and I love you and I send you light. But no access anymore because it's pulling on my field, and I have the right of self-responsibility to honor my field of light, to honor my bodies, to honor my heart health, to honor my stress levels. Because those of us that are empaths, it's like walking through water. When those energies of karmic negativity pull on us, it feels like you're walking through water in every interaction. And we have the right to say, enough is enough. We've got to change it because it affects everybody in the circle. The collective, it affects everybody. It's got to stop, you know, and you know, when you're at that stopping point, enough, 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 enough. No more conversation. Conversations must stop. It must be from truth. It must be from honesty, and it must be from that integrity of that same vibration for that engagement to continue. So you're allowing everyone to level up to that frequency, to engage with you. So that quantum experience can be changed at that higher vibrational level. That's quantum entanglement. Instead of you lowering yours to continue those cycles, that does not serve you. And that's what the Christ consciousness and the councils of light said, compromising your light. You're continuing to compromise your light because you want resolve. As a light worker, you want resolve. So you keep going back to these cycles that never seem to end. And that's how others in those karmic energies pull us back in. But it's mastery to say, no, no access. These are my boundaries. These are my rules of engagement. These are my standards. And until you level up and want to meet with me at this level, there must be the closure. Must be closure. And I choose closure right now. Cycle done. No access. Closure, closure, closure. And however long it takes. Because sometimes many of these experiences are within our families, that we've been with them since birth. And it takes mastery, and this is why they said the bottleneck. Part of the bottleneck is the fear of the unknown. Well, what happens when I release myself from this person? Well, you're going to have access with their spirit just on a different level. You're going to meet people that are more vibrationally matched, and you're going to allow them to have the experience that they need to finish off their soul cycle. You can't control anybody's destiny on who they're meant to meet and what their soul is supposed to experience. That's source, that's their soul, that's their team, that's their guides. Everybody's a master. Holding on and resisting change just keeps those karmic cycles going, and why the collective is at a bottleneck. Because we're resisting the unknown. Well, everything is unknown. Just like we talked about the boutique shopping. We never know what window we're going to see, right? It's all supposed to be a surprise. And then the releasing of the fear of, lost ones and loved ones. Well, it's meant to be that way because they're just going to see us in different bodies and different faces and different packages at that vibration that you're sowing with now. I choose to sow with the vibration of unconditional love and compassion. These are the ones I'm calling in. That's an intention. I call in those that honor and respect me and value me at this level. And you set that intention. That's the clarity of who you are. I am clear about who I am. I am clear about what do I want to attract and co-create. And this is what the children need to be and see emulated. so that they feel good about who they are, so that they don't want to feel squashed in their voice. They don't want to feel that their gifts and their knowings and their honorings and their expression of themselves is not needed or not necessary. It absolutely is. So go within and create that self-knowing and that self-clarity, and know that these harder, more challenging karmic cycles are the ones that actually create our mastery. So that you do build your mastery, you do build your self-confidence and your self-choice to stand in your power and the glow of who you are as responsible for you. You're responsible for your happiness. So if those karmic energies create pain and ill health for you because of all the work that it takes to make a balance out of something that is just not meant to be, out of, balance that's, eons of karmic imbalance, there needs to be learning on other people's parts, and you can't do any of it for them. You can lead them to water, but they have to do the work to meet you at that level that you're now stating as your new level of energy and co-creation, engagement, and entanglement. Again, we're saying all of this not as quantitative or qualitative. It's just how energy works, and why the collective right now is feeling those oscillizing experiences of reality shiftings. They're going to be shifting reality energies so that you will be vibrationally matched with those that you are stating and you are honoring and you are intending as your consciously awake essence and honor and energy. Remember, you're an epicenter of light. You are a soul essence creating matter. And in every new level that you're leveling up, you're offering those energies to all others that need it, however they need it. It's an elegant system that goes beyond the words that we have. But the highest importance that you have is to honoring who you are in your light and making sure that your values and your integrity and your love and who you are and what's important for you is honored by the relationships that you now call in as you release relationships that are changing and transforming. You will have access to them in different ways, in different bodies, in different forms, however it is meant to at the soul level. It's not for the ego self to control and manipulate, because the ego does not know what soul knows. The soul will call in those beings at a soul level for the highest expansion in every new cycle. The ego can't control it. And if the ego tries to control it, the ego will continue to run into bottleneck, because the ego needs to learn to let go and release and allow the new cycle to begin. And that's a learning process for everyone, because it's been thousands of years in egocentric experiences of patterns and habits of having the same people around and to play with. And then when those choose to branch off and do something different, that goes through a cycle of loss and grief. And that's just normal. It's a process. But to use it in the highest expression of what we are as all people, we're always all connected. So there's never any loss. There's never any separation. Everything is always unknown. So make it exciting. How can we infuse excitement? How can we infuse oneness? How can we infuse empathy and compassion to every situation, no matter how challenging, no matter how traumatic, so that each person gets their own closure, so that each person gets their own self-love and self-honor in all chakras, in all fields, in all bodies. And you learn to walk in the strength and the love of who you are as the Holy Christ, the Christ consciousness, the Metatronic energy, the Metatronic light, and you walk as your light. And you know how to call in those higher vibrations to heal what needs to be healed. Just know it. As my name is, I heal all that I am. I create closure. I create my new beginning. I create my new path. I create my new ceremony. I create my new initiation as me. I get to do that. So powerful. And honor every soul's journey. Every soul comes with a huge packet of lessons that they're moving through. None of what we've been talking about for so many years has never been taught. It's never been taught. So be gentle and honoring of every soul. Every soul. I forgive you and I love you and I honor you. I know that your path has been really challenging and I honor you in it, but I believe in you. I believe in you. And I will always be here to inspire you. I'll always be here to empower you. And I'll always be here to encourage you in your highest and your best, because I believe in the light that you carry. I believe in it. And this is what I'd like to see. And then you can state your specific expectations of how you want to engage with those that you're shifting to and from, so that you're speaking in your truth of what's important to you. This is how I want to be valued. This is how I want to be treated. This is how I want to co-create with you. And then you have those open discussions of those higher vibrational potentiations, so that each and every one of you are threading up and up and up and up, showing others how to also thread up and up and up and up in their own unique ways, not by any set system at all, because that's not Source Creator. Source Creator is for each person to activate who they are within Source, to come up with their own unique, effectiveness, because we each carry it. And that is what's so undeniably profound. Those are those moments of source where you just go, it's mind-boggling. The infinite number of earths we're all working on, and all that matters is you falling in love with you, setting out your intentions for how you want to co-create and engage, the rules of your engagement with love and compassion, and aligning with Christic grids and Christic beings, and then sending in your highest Christic light all energies to all beings that have allowed you your greatest mastery because of the challenges they've offered, because of the eons of density of karmic energy that you've had to walk through, water through, trying to find your way. That's how it's felt for me. It's been so challenging by myself, you know, with very few people to talk to that understood the multidimensional experiences that I was having, being able to see 2 and 3 and sometimes more timelines at once, and the pain of all those timelines, the visions of those timelines, and to be able to process it all and clear it all and honor it all, and then come back and serve your family, and then come back and create something new, and then come back and, you know, keep yourself together. I mean, it's been monumental. I really want to come forward. Today is a really important day. Be monumental. Understand your greatness. Understand why you're here and how much you've cleared. And be celebratory of it. Be sacred with it. You are a master that's come to clear eons of density that nobody's taught us how to do. I mean, it's phenomenal. And we are here to be the presentation of light, to be the vessel of light through Holy Mother, Father, through Holy Source, through Holy Spirit, Abba, Abba, however you want to call the all creator that is within the center of every atom. That we have access to create the most profound, the most beautiful, the most elegant, the most dynamic systems for Earth, for humanity, for all generations hereafter, to prepare for first contact, prepare for our celestial families, and bring the highest versions of us to new beginnings and new templates of light. Through the center of who we are as one. Not to damn or demean anybody. And it's a challenge because there's so much pain. There's so much pain. But that's what's got to be healed first. So heal your pain, call it in and heal it. Feel the loss. Feel the disappointment. Feel the sadness. Breathe through it, breathe through it, breathe through it, so that you're responding in love, not reacting in anger and pain. So you got to allow yourself to heal it through feeling it. Feel it, breathe it. It takes a couple minutes. It'll only be 2 minutes most. 2 minutes most. Just feel it. Let it go. Let it go. Let the loss go. Let the disappointment go. Honor it. Appreciate it, because it's going to allow you to stretch out, and you'll feel it within minutes. You'll feel that enlightenment because you've given yourself permission. I choose to let this energy go. All realms, all timelines, all facets of me. I'm clearing this for the all of me because I get to choose. I no longer want to continue with this energy. I get to close it out. Self-responsibility, and only you can do it. Only you. And we love you, dear lighted ones. We hope you've enjoyed our beautiful offerings for healing those really traumatic karmic energies that everybody is sitting within, and why that bottleneck is created. We're all moving through the fear and the despair of the unknown, but we can flip it into something really great, and we can inspire something new, and we can excite ourselves in the unknown, because it's always unknown. Every moment is unknown. You never know who's going to knock on your door. You never know what window setting you're going to see in the store. You never know what kind of sandwich you're going to get. It's always unknown. That's evolution. That's life. That's God's surprise for you. That's God's gift to you. That's Spirit's gift for all that you are, just surrendering into the flow. Trust. You're okay. You got this. And knowing that no matter how deep and dark it feels, call in your teams to assist in the transmutation of the dense energies and breathe through it. I choose to release this pain. I choose to release this pain. Every chakra, every cell, wherever this density exists, release, release, release now. And I'm bathed by the Christic light. I'm bathed by my higher knowing. I'm bathed by unconditional love. I'm bathed, I'm bathed, I'm bathed. I choose to bring myself anew. I choose to be the master of my destiny. I choose to know who I am. I choose to create my new environment. I choose to call in new friends. I choose to love myself wholly. I choose to know that I will no longer put up with energies that drain me. I will no longer put up with those games of self-sacrifice, because I get to choose. And I thank everybody for playing those energies with me, because now I get to know who I am at a higher vibrational level, at an expanded vibrational level. And so too do they. They're expanding in their consciousness just as you are. It's always one, always one. We're meant to have our unique perspectives. We're meant to. That is the diversity of who we are. So exciting. So thank you, dear lighted ones. Those of you that would love to donate, we will leave the links below. We love you so much. We hope that you create some celebration and ceremony today. Create ceremony of this day being your mastery day to create new, to inspire new, to know that self-care is your responsibility to be all that you are. Physical, mental, emotional, and etheric. Tap into the community efforts that are always available through massage and Reiki and acupuncture and life coaching and spiritual teachers and healers and leaders like myself, that there's always someone you can reach out to. Don't forget to connect with also the traditional medicines, that the doctors and the counselors and everybody in our traditional environment to honor and be sacred in all aspects of our community that can help with our healing. And we love you and we honor you so much that as you give out, so too do you receive. So we wish you good wellness, and we wish you goodwill to everything that you choose to and create for yourself and you inspire for yourself. We wish you abundance and love and care and kindness for yourself, and knowing that as you wish it out for all others, and so too you'll receive it in kind. Always the universe and the heavens will meet you in equal measure, that you choose to know yourself as love and live as love. And we love you so much, dear lighted ones. Namaste. Bye. We rainbow you.